What's up guys, welcome back to Aquatic Elements. As you can tell by the title and thumbnail, today we are going to be doing a video on my monster fish mega tank. We're going to be talking about the fish, the filtration. We're going to also be doing a hand feeding at the end of the video, and I'm going to be talking to you more about my maintenance. Now, we've had a lot of new followers across all of our social media platforms, and I'm getting a lot of questions. How do I look after this aquarium? What do they eat? How is this filtration set up on this aquarium as well? So we're going to be going over that today because it's been quite a while since I've done an update on this aquarium. Now, this aquarium measures 3 foot front to back, it measures 2.5 feet tall, and it measures 8 feet long. Now, it holds 1,620 litres. Now, I get a lot of comments about the floor. This is actually a solid concrete floor, and this is a new build property. So we've got at least 1 metre, if not a couple of metres of concrete beneath the tank. And just underneath the tank here is actually sitting on a polystyrene base to help even out any imperfections in that concrete. Although I did make sure the floor was fully level before this tank went on, both front to back and side to side, made sure the floor was completely level. We've still got 1 inch of polystyrene under here, which has actually been protected with a 50mm electrical tape just to tie it in with the top trim of the tank as well. Now, for substrate choice, I've gone for a pewter colored sand, and there is currently 40 kilos of sand in there. Now, you may notice at the front, the sand does move away with the catfish, the stormy catfish and the rays sitting at the front of the glass waiting for food. So I do have to brush that back, but I could always add a little bit more. The fish keep the sand always turned over, so I never actually have to gravel vac it. But going for a coarse substrate means that if I ever do gravel vac it, I'm not sucking all of the sand out of the aquarium. Now, for Aquascape, as you can see, we've got this huge log in the tank. Now, this is a massive piece of bogwood, and bits of bogwood like this are very, very hard to find. So when I found this, I thought, I've got to get it. It's a great feature piece. And I would say dry weight, it was around that 50 kilo mark, 40 to 50 kilos. And the wet weight is probably around that 60 to 70 kilos. It is a very, very heavy piece of wood. And there was actually 2 of us to put it into the aquarium. Now, this piece of wood measures around 7 feet in length, but because we've got it upright in this diagonal position, it doesn't quite take up 7 feet in length within the tank. And then I've got 2 glacial boulders that the wood sits on. It's nice and secure. I can't even rock it back and forth, so the fish are absolutely fine. And then at the back of the tank, I've got a few pebbles which help to hold down the air line for my air bar at the back of the tank. Now, speaking about the air bar, as you can see, I have a 2 meter air bar that runs the full length of the tank. It obviously doesn't run into the filter, but it runs from this side all the way down to the filter on the other side of the aquarium. Now, this is run on my Halia air pump. I believe it's around 25 litres per minute, and it provides a nice aesthetic bubble to the back of the tank, hiding that back wall. Now, not only is it aesthetically pleasing and quite nice to look at, it provides a nice bit of aeration to the tank, gases off any CO2, and it also provides a really nice gyre effect and a gyre flow throughout the tank. So as the air rises, it pulls the water with it, it goes to the top and then back down, and it creates a really nice circular motion around the aquarium, which helps pick up any dirt and detritus and take them over to the filter. So moving on to the filtration, you can probably see just over to the left, I've got my internal sump filter. Now, this filter measures 76 centimeters tall. It is about the internal height of the aquarium. It measures 40 centimeters wide and 40 centimeters front to back. Now, I believe it holds approximately 120 liters of water. The water enters through the weirs at the top of the tank, goes into the filter fleece, down through a layer of couple of sponges, and then I've got an egg crate plastic to secure those into position. So we've got the 2 sponges and we've got that filter fleece sitting on top, which is our mechanical filtration. The water then percolates through that down into the biomedia section. Now that biomedia section holds approximately 35 kilos of media, which consists of ceramic rings, biohome, alpha grog, and I think I might have a couple other medias like an Ehi mech in there as well. The water travels down through that and then it is pumped out of the system with my 6,000 litre per hour Halia pond pump. And then that goes into the UV, which is a Cockney Koi 25 watt Yumitsu UV, up over the top and then back into the tank. Now it's really, really easy to maintain. All I need to do is remove that piece of filter fleece once every 6 to 7 days and put a new piece in. And then I clean those sponges out approximately once every 6 weeks, which takes about 5 minutes. And then I do a full strip down where I remove all of that media, the sponges and the filter fleece every 6 months or so to give it a real deep clean. But filter maintenance is very, very easy on this tank. Super, super simple, and it helps keep that water crystal clear. Now we've seen the filtration, let's talk a little bit about the different pieces of equipment I use on this tank. Now you would have seen on the filter, I use a Haiger 800 watt LCD heater. I also have my Halia air pump, which runs that air bar at the back of the tank. And then I've got that Cockney Koi 25 watt pond UV, which helps keep that water crystal clear. Now above the tank, you will see I've got 2 lights. Now these are the AI Hydra 52 HD lights. These are fully controllable on an app. They are meant for a marine aquarium, but I've adjusted the lighting spectrum to give my fish the perfect coloration and set the mood in the aquarium. So we've covered the tank size and dimensions, the filtration and the equipment. Let's talk a little bit more about maintenance. Now to maintain an aquarium this size, you may think it takes a lot of time and effort to keep it looking so clear and pristine, and you could be further from the truth. Now, as I have that internal sump filter I mentioned already, to clean it, all I do is take the filter fleece out and replace it. The only other aspect of cleaning this aquarium I do each week is cleaning the glass. Spend about 5 minutes using my flipper magnet, and then I also do approximately a 40% water change. I place my water change pipe into the aquarium, I attach my siphon tube, and then I siphon it out of the patio doors. That usually takes around 45 minutes, only takes around 60 seconds to set up. Then I simply attach the hose onto my tap, attach it into the pipe that goes back into the aquarium, and then I turn the tap on for about 20 minutes to fill it up with warm water. And that is all the maintenance there is for this entire aquarium. The rest is just enjoying it and feeding the fish, which brings me on to feeding time. So these guys mainly eat a diet of mussels and prawns. I also feed them pellets as well. The arowana does take some pellets, but let's give them some food and let's check them out in their feeding regime. Now I'm gonna feed Violet the Violet Fusion Super Red Arowana first, and I've just got her some food here. So she really likes these pellets. These are the NT Labs Predator pellets, and I actually got these with her when I purchased her from the shop. Now she does go a little bit crazy for these, so hopefully she doesn't cause any drama or make any splashes, but I will just simply give her some of these pellets, and she hopefully will see them and start eating them. So I give her these pellets probably around 3 or 4 times a week, and then the rest of her diet is consisting of mussels and prawns. So I'll get some of those defrosted now, and then we can get them in the tank and start to feed the fish. Now I've got the frozen fish food just defrosting in a mug next to me. So we've got a few cold water prawns and also some mussels in there as well. Now just before we put the food into the tank, I want to talk a little bit about what species I've actually got in my aquarium. Now for those of you who do not know, I have 3 freshwater stingrays, I have an Asian arowana, I also have 3 Hampala barbs, I've got a stormy eye catfish, and I've also got a fly river turtle. Now there is another species in here which is just hiding behind the piece of wood, and that is my royal clown knifefish. Now, it's such a shame that this fish doesn't come out very much. You will get to see it when we add some food to the tank, but unfortunately it is a very reclusive fish. Now, the Asian arowana, as I already mentioned, is a violet fusion super red, and she is approximately 22 inches in length. Now, the freshwater stingrays are a albino pearl, another larger albino pearl, and an albino pearl cross albino black diamond hybrid. Now, Sheila, the fly river turtle, is just down in the front of the aquarium, just taking a nap. She does love to nap during the day, but during the night time, she's always coming out and about. She gets a diet of the frozen prawns and mussels, and also squid as well. And then she also gets some different fruits, such as figs, bananas and grapes. Now, grapes are definitely one of her favorites. Now, the Hampala barbs are super aggressive when feeding, and so is the arowana. So I have to make sure I put enough food in for all of the fish at the bottom of the aquarium to eat, and also so the clown knife gets some as well. Now, these aren't the only fish I have. I do have another aquarium behind the camera, which is my mini monster fish grow out tank. Currently in there, I have got 6 thread phennicara, 6 albino thread phennicara. I've also got some datnoids, Datnoides microlepis. I've got a mix of 3 bars and also some 4 bars as well. I've also got some elephant nose fish in there, and I did have a birchet and a clown knife, which I have since moved on as the fish are starting to grow and get bigger. And my plan with that tank is to eventually have it as a datnoid only grow out tank. Now, I do have a datnoid in this tank as well, in the main monsterfish mega tank, but you probably can't see it. He is just hiding under the wood. He is a very shy fish, and my end goal is to have a nice group of datnoids in this tank as well, maybe swap them out for the Hampala barbs, and hopefully get some more slightly more community friendly datnoids, some fish that come out a little bit more and aren't as reclusive as my current one. Hopefully, as I introduce some more fish, once they are bigger into this tank, he will start to become a bit less shy. So that food has now defrosted. Let's head to the other end of the tank and get feeding. Now it's time to feed. So I've turned off the exterior lighting just so you don't get too many reflections, and I'm really hoping you're going to be able to see the datnoid and the clown knife. Now, the fish normally splash when I put the food in, but I'm really hoping they play ball today. And there goes the food. So the clown knife normally comes out from the back. You can see as soon as that food goes in, all of the fish rush straight to it. Hopefully you can see the royal clown, he's just picked up a big chunk of muscle. He's definitely put some size on. I'd say he's around the 12 to 14 inch mark, and he was probably around the 10-inch mark when I put him in last year. But all the fish are doing really, really well. This albino pearl is definitely growing quite slowly, but the albino hybrid and the larger albino pearl are definitely putting on the weight. But that is the summary on the monster fish mega tank. Sheila is still just taking a nap. She may come out later for some grapes. If you do have any questions, please leave them down below. Hopefully I've covered everything you need to know, from the equipment, the fish, the aquascape, the filtration, and also how I maintain this aquarium. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.